Yeah, very good morning and how you doing? Welcome to STARTIMES Business. I'm Andrew Barige, and of course it's yet another business day, and it's the first that is of August, of course, in the new month 2023. Well, how are you doing? I hope you really are going through quite a great time this morning, and as preparing, that is to get to work and execute what you ought to execute. I understand some of you actually are still heading to your places where pursuing your careers from, but of course others are also heading to those areas where they can actually, running their own enterprises in some sort of a way. But definitely on STARTIMES Business, we are back and we're here to give you that information that is quite very key and essential when it comes to your personal development, and most especially to the entrepreneur when it comes to decision making and implementation. Something which I believe is quite very key, when it comes to making those decisions that are going to be expansive, that is for your company or any other, or what you can actually do for the organization when you're pursuing something within in there. And lots of stories that are coming up on the show. But before we proceed into any further of those discussions, I would still love to remind you that the markets on the Zabo platform are back today, and very soon, a few minutes from now, they're going to be opening. And now for you to be a part of this, it's quite very simple. Start tonight, 2 hash is the code, which will avail you with a number of options where you will be in position to actually own government bond securities for a fee of just 15,000 Ugandan shillings. Now the markets are going to be opening at exactly 8:15 a.m. running all the way to 3:15 p.m. East African time, and this is effective Monday up to Friday, apart from the weekends and the public holidays when those markets cannot be accessed. But of course, despite that, you have the rest of the days to capitalize and make yourself quite some huge profit, something which I believe is very key and instrumental when it comes to your financial growth and development as an individual. And Zabo made this a reality, and Zabo simply says, my money, my future, and all Texas Africa tells you, do something new for yourself. Remember, we are into the year 2023, and things gotta be much more different in that perspective. Well, I'm here with Masi Katsime to drive your business. Masi, how are you?
How are you, and happy new month.
Happy new month to you too.
To be in the month of
it is really exciting.
Yes,
actually.
Yes. I didn't actually in the morning. It skipped me. Then when I arrived here, I just remembered. Hey, today is 1st August. Hey, we are finalizing with you, but we are glad that you've joined us in the new month, the 1st of August. 2023, and we are here to give you the very best STARTIMES business or student to Smart 24 TV, because we have a lot to offer. Anyway, for you that is going out to work, and of course as you're preparing, some people are preparing actually, because 8 p.m. that is when people are required to be.
But it feels like if you prepare this time, it's a little bit late.
To prepare this time at 7?
It's a little bit late.
Yes, depending on how the distance from your home to your workplace.
Okay.
So people's workplace is actually near, so it just takes them like 15 minutes. So definitely there would be actually for the men. For the men, it's easier for them to get ready within the shortest time possible. Okay. And compared to us ladies who take time to do the hair and the makeup to look good. So it actually got I got thinking. Someone was saying a thing about women and who they dress up for, who do they look good for, and I was really wondering,
what exactly really, is that?
I mean, I could decide to dress for myself, self-love.
Yeah, by the way, sometimes people really it's just perception, but you can choose to do something to please you, because you're the first. If you don't love yourself, how best will you? So you gotta love yourself first, and it's fine. I mean, to dress for yourself, it's not a must, regardless of what people are going to perceive about that. Yeah, well, and of course, as we head into the further discussion, still away from that, remember yesterday actually there was a report on food inflation, right? Yeah. And that is according to the statistics from the WUBOS. And of course, there is some sort of a reduction that was registered in some sort of a way when we get to review this. Now, the annual inflation as measured by the Consumer Price Index for that is for Uganda for the 12 months to July 2023 reduced to 3.9%, according to the reports that we are observing in here. And well, what does that really speak when we see in some areas, recently we saw the aspect of the onions increasing by the price. Now, the annual inflation as measured by the Consumer Price Index, that is for Uganda, for the 12 months to July 2023, is reduced to 3.9%. That is compared to 4.9% recorded in the year ended, that is June 2023. Now, the monthly headline inflation for the July 2023 was also recorded at 0.0%. That is compared to 0.3% dropped recorded in the month of June 2023. Now, that simply means that Ugandans are no longer digging deep into their pockets for fewer products, as you can actually see that. Now, the main drivers that led to the decrease in the monthly inflation was the monthly food crops and the related items, and the inflation that decreased, that is by 3.1% in July 2023, up from 4.2% drop recorded in June 2023. And this was mainly due to monthly vegetables, cooking, bananas, and pulse inflation, as you can actually see that. Now, specifically, cooking bananas inflation decreased, that is by 17.6% in July 2023 from 20.0% from 20.0 drop that is recorded in June 2023. And the rice inflation registered 24.6 in July 2023 compared to 31.7% that is recorded in June in July 2023 rather. Now, speaking, we can see, like, some of the traders say that the price of rice hasn't yet reduced to the expectations, as they used to buy a sack of rice that is at 100 kilograms and at about 550,000. But now they're buying it at 520,000. Of course, there is a reduction, but
30,000.
Just a reduction, 30,000. But it is fine. That is fine. Yeah, that is really good. Okay, and still we see that some traders says that a box of tomatoes is now around 80,000. So you well carefully get your profits. And green pepper is not that expensive too, if you can actually dig deeper in here. And we see that there was an increase in the prices of the commodities under the housing, water, electricity, gas, whose inflation was recorded at 3.2%. That is in the year ending 2023 compared to 0.8% registered in June 2023. So increase in the prices of commodities.
Wow.
That is under house, all that. But of course, the overall aspect here is that the headline inflation recorded a drop of from 4.9% to 3.1%.
That's something actually. I must say. Even if you go to markets, you realize prices have reduced. You can access fruits at a cheaper price than tomatoes, green pepper. It's affordable compared to, I think, last year or beginning of the year. Beginning of the year, where things were a little bit high. But then if you see 100 kilos of rice going to 520,000, that means 550,000. Yes, that means it's quite. With time, it will be at 500. So definitely, it's 500,000. Maybe the only thing that is actually expensive these days it's onions, but of course I think it will go back to its normal state just a few months, because I mean maybe the season is not right, or maybe something isn't right there. But of course for water really, people have actually had a lot of complaints when it comes to water. Any slight of drop, that's money. That's money. So fasten your taps. Fasten your taps when you go.
Absolutely.
When you go, because it may seem as just a drop, but it counts. Every drop counts. Every drop counts. Even anyway, I think the electricity part is maybe the what is it called? The fee that you're supposed to pay.
For electricity?
Yes, your car.
Yeah, that, yeah, of course you pay. It's like how you, but lot of how much you use it determines how much it
Yes,
costs.
but there is always a fee you pay, 3,000, sometimes 7,000.
No, there is that tax you pay every month.
Yes,
every month, every beginning of the month.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, anyway, the good thing about it is you may pay your 7K, you know, and pay for the what do you say called tax? Yes. And of course, you get some reasonable amounts of units.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I believe we shall get there. We shall really get to a certain percentage where we can afford, everyone can go to the market and buy a thing or two and feed their families. That is what we are hoping for in the nearby future.
All right, very interesting in there. So those are the prices. I don't know now, like, when it comes to those people that are probably owning hotels, restaurants, you can actually see how you can try to balance this out, you know, to maintain that, you know.
Do you realize the time things were expensive, the food was also hiked? The food that was, the beans now, for instance, they're usually the lowest. But to some places, maybe 3,000, depending on where you've gone, 3,000, 3,500. Maybe some places were at 4,000, 4,500. So the more, when the commodities are expensive, that means hotels and food-related places actually will hype their prices. When you talk about cooking oil, cooking oil was a thing last year.
Yeah.
So everything was high. If for those that were doing daddies, the daddies were very little. You'd find like 5 in a pack.
Also, it used to be like probably 25.
Even crisps, you find
reduced on the quantity.
Like 6.
6 in the pack.
Yeah. So.
Ah, wow, that's so unfair. Well, that is it for the morning call. Now let's cross our eyes and take a look at what's making headlines to the press. Yes, we've got the New Vision with us here and the Daily Monitor, and we're going to be taking a look. But of course, seeing here on the top page, of course, row over FDC polls. Of course, FDC has been in here about the split of the party over money-related matters. And now, still on the top page, we can see Museveni comments Sabia relations. You know, that is further details in there. And of course, we see the coronation celebrations for the Kabaka, where is the Kabaka of Buganda, Ronald Mwenda Mutebi, being a picture when it's lifted by the members of Mbogo clan, or what they call the Buffalo, of course, as he waves to his subjects during his 30th coronation anniversary at Mengo Palace in Kampala yesterday. Yeah, so Baganda really love their king, by the way. I've not seen people that love as compared to. I don't think even you
we do not
in the West, you don't. We
don't. You're talking there to twin. That one we don't.
You don't.
We don't.
But why? But it's important.
I know it's very funny how he was called Prince Barije.
Prince Barije.
Yes.
Where is Prince Barije?
I don't know now. So there is a similarity to the names, your names.
To the names.
Yes. So you never know. You may be in that lineage.
The lineage. Of course, by the time they name somebody, they call them one. I'm from the royal family. Yeah, Barije is a name for the royal people. That's a fact.
So definitely, you never know. So you have to trace back your roots. Trace back your roots. You never know.
What about the Mugabe? We had the
Mugabe was
also Barije.
Mugabe.
It was only Prince Barije. It was only the Prince Barije.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Anyway, in the Daily Monitor still, Kabaka Mutebi. Of course, yesterday was a big day for our friends, the Baganda. This is one of the memorable days. Most people anticipate for this day. They dance, they celebrate, they drink. Yeah. It's really, you get to see the kind of love people have for their leader.
Yeah, and because actually leadership starts from that level, from from the people that those personalities, but that people embrace. That's why majority of the people, if you want to, for example, if you be president of a given country, you have to really cooperate so much with we call them clan leaders, spiritual leaders, and all that for you to effectively, because these are the people that have the ability to influence people to do anything.
Yeah, and for the Baganda, it's definitely there, Kavaka, and of course, long live. Court to recruit 2,900 employees, and of course, World Health Organization introduces new essential medicine. And of course, here, fishermen demand a ban on mukene nets, and of course, man cries foul over surgery that cost him an arm. Quite sad, right there.
Okay. Now, of course, as we dig deeper in here, we see 4,000 set to graduate from the State House Industrial Hubs. As we can take a look here, definitely you'll find out further details of the report when you get, 4,000 set to graduate from State House Industrial Hubs.
Wow.
Yeah, of course.
State House Industrial Hubs.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was a school. Anyway,
They do actually. I can also see here the First Lady receiving the Bredgin funded projects report and Ruto's new directives on Mombasa port to boost regional trade.
Anyway,
that's quite great.
I think Daily Monitor has more to do with the King Kavaka and the coronation, the history. If you want to know the history behind yes, if you want to know, the thing about us lately, we do not know the history about our cultures and who was the king before and what did they change to and who. So please get yourself a paper and read more. There is a statement here I'm seeing. You'll be quite interested to know the reason behind the statement that Kavaka said. But of course, health workers suspend planned strike. There's the health workers this year they have been really up in arms. But anyway, the fact that they have suspended it means maybe there is a way forward that they might have set up for them. And of course, our friends, the Fanero Christians, clapped their way into Guinness Book of Records. 3 hours.
Clapped their way. They made it to Guinness World Records. 3
hours and 20 minutes. Wow.
Now, this is, it's also here at the New Vision. Globega's Fanero shatters, that is, world record with a marathon clap for Jesus. But I think this was great. This was great. I mean, if people can do things for other people, why not Jesus?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, me, I was pleased to see it.
Every time I see that, I just have a picture in me. There are plenty of memes that were, of how people clap their hands.
The longest applause in history.
Wow. But it was planned for, I must say, because people had donned shirts. For red clap for Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to be prepared to praise Jesus. I mean, it's fine. You can prepare for it.
Okay.
You can prepare for it. Okay, then maybe finally, before we get into the traffic updates, Busoga leaders lock horns over 20 billion Ugandan shillings tourism. That is institute expansion. Wow, what does that really entail? When you'll get yourself a copy of the New Vision, you'll find out further of those details. Now, of course, as we head straight into the traffic, images that you really observing in there are coming in from, that is the one that get traffic lights junction. As you can see the situation, how it is like there. Yeah, it's not, I'm seeing Makere Road seems to be lightly congested. It's not really fully congested as you can, as on other related days. So if you're heading to those places, to execute the business well, it's quite it will be fair for you. You're coming in from Kasubi, Nakulabye, and so many areas related to that, and you're coming down the side to execute business. It's quite fair. You won't be delayed that much according to what we are observing here. So that is the one they get traffic lights. One of the most busiest areas, around town. Yeah, just having quite a number of junctions that link to the city. We have the Bombo Road, the Makere Road. There is a road coming in from Lago, Kamocha. So it really clearly explains to you, and you can actually really observe as you watch the situation. Of course, those are vehicles that are coming in from Makere Road. That road, which I know for having quite a number of traffic lights, and now they're heading towards the city center. Some are actually proceeding to other related destinations, but that's according to the look of things. But still, as you can see, the vehicles that are coming in from town, coming towards Wandega, Mulago, there is a free route there. It's not congested at all. Like always in most cases, those vehicles that are heading towards the city are much congested due to, of course, the morning hours. Majority of the people are traveling to the city center, at least a big percentage, despite the fact that some are leaving city center to head to other areas to actually do work. But the situation is just like that, as you can see. Probably those that are heading towards the city center might face a slight congestion ahead, that area close to YMCA, as you proceed. Yeah, so that is the situation, like as you can observe. Not yet seen a traffic office on ground, but seeing the fact that we can see police personnel here, probably is watching over the traffic pattern. Yeah, as you can see, vehicles that are heading to the city center today, it's not congested. As you can see, those vehicles that have been coming in from Makere Road are going in through. So reaching city center when you're coming in from Wandega may not be a hard thing today. It's going to be quite very smooth. Yeah, the traffic officers here controlling the vehicles, making sure that there is absolute control of their vehicles to avoid unnecessary possible accidents on such an early morning, like we can really see on certain times of the day. The situation is actually moderate when taking a look at the people, the vehicles into the area. Of course, public and private vehicles, and actually this area is so largely flocked with public vehicles. If you can actually observe public means of transport, though there are those areas we can really see, and they have quite lots of private vehicles by here. Now, of course, the vehicles that are coming in here, coming in from Bombo Road, sometimes you need to look into consideration of the areas these vehicles are coming in from. People in such areas don't really have, maybe if you can afford to buy public, their own vehicles. The best they can actually do is own, unlike on other routes, like when in Tindabukoto Road, where you see there are actually more of private vehicles as compared to public. So the demand for public vehicles is not as high as compared to the people that come from the Bombo Road. So those are differences, and actually majority of the people, if you're investing into the transport business, you also have to consider which, you have a taxi, you have a coaster, but you have to put into consideration that this coaster is heading to this place. What is the probability that I'll get the people? Remember, there is competition. It's not your only coaster, but if you have a huge ocean of people, individuals there, you can participate and get part of this money if you know that destination and the people that actually come from that destination. What are their characteristics? What are their spending habits and all that? Yeah, that is it for the traffic updates this morning, and those are the images you've been seeing coming in from the Wandega traffic lights. And the situation seems to be a little bit calm this morning, and yeah, let us see how it really goes as the day proceeds. Well, right about now, let's get into the break, and when we return, we shall be taking a look at what's happening onto the international scene and the Caribbean, East Africa.